Hi, this is Joe Mitchell, YourHarvardAttorney.com, serving Greater Philadelphia with personal injury and criminal law. People ask me a lot, what is the process of expungement? First of all, what is expungement? Expungement is where you have a non-conviction record which you would like to get wiped out. Now, there are two kinds of non-conviction records. There are a totally non-convicted record where you're just not guilty, or the case is withdrawn. And then there's a partial not guilty record where, let's say you were charged with aggravated assault and robbery, and you pled to simple assault. So even though what you pled to was only simple assault, you have aggravated and robbery. If someone was to look up your record, you have aggravated and robbery there as part of it. Even though they might say not guilty, you still have to explain what those are. And that's pretty embarrassing. It's pretty embarrassing to have theft charges or fraud charges or charges that go to your character that didn't prove to be true, or do you prove to have beat the case, and then you have to explain them to employers, to friends, or to anyone who's looking through your record. So it's really important that if you have such a record, that you get it expunged. And what is the expungement process? Well, I'm going to tell you about the expungement process in Philadelphia, and it's pretty much the same in most counties. Basically, there is a standard petition. So basically what you do is you file a petition saying that you'd like to get your record expunged of such and such charges. It's a fairly complicated process. It's not the kind of process that I really would suggest that you do by yourself or for yourself, because there's just a lot of I's to dot and T's to cross. There are some things, like let's say you're trying to get your return of property if you were arrested or something like that. Maybe that's something that you can do by yourself, but an expungement, you really do need a lawyer, and of course you can always talk to your Harvard attorney here, but that's not really the point. The point is that first you need to file a petition. And once that petition is filed, what happens is a court date is given. And the court date is usually about 3 weeks out from the time that you file the petition. The court date is in front of a judge. Now, many times, and I would say most times, the prosecutor does not object to an expungement. So let's say that you were charged with something like disorderly conduct or whatever, and they threw it out because you weren't really being disorderly, or the witnesses didn't show up, or you just decide you did an ARD, which is Accelerated Rehabilitative Disposition. We just call it ARD for short. So what if that happens and you now have a disorderly conduct on your record which is showing as either not guilty or dismissed? Generally, let's just say it was dismissed, or withdrawn, which a lot of times the district attorney will withdraw charges. So if the charges are withdrawn and now you want to get it expunged, you file your petition, and 3 weeks later you are in front of the judge. Now, the district attorney is not going to have any problem with accepting your expungement petition. Sometimes there are some problems. Sometimes there are cases where the district attorney will actually object, and then there is a need for a hearing. But if there is no objection, then there's no hearing, and you don't have to show up. And your attorney basically goes there and just checks in and says that it's been granted. And once it's granted, then there's another maybe 10-day hiatus where the judge signs the orders and certified orders are sent to your attorney. At that point, all of the records from the online service, there's an online service that you can look at for free, and it's very easy to get to. In fact, I can look up pretty much anybody's record within the course of maybe 20 to 30 seconds, and it's not something that only attorneys can do. But all of those records that are online get erased. And then the only people that at that point have your records are, of course, the district attorney's office. The court's records actually will get erased and disposed of. So the only people that will then have it are the police, the Philadelphia police, if this event happened in Philadelphia, and the Pennsylvania police. So then what I do as an attorney is I send the certified orders to these organizations, and we also make a request to the FBI to erase the records as well. The whole process takes approximately 2 months to 2.5 months. From the time that the petition is filed to the time that the records are expunged from the police departments. This is a very important thing to do if you have things on your record that were not convictions. Get them off your record now. Thanks for listening. Please call me if you have any questions, especially if it's in the greater Philadelphia area, 215-557-7111, 215-557-7111. This is Joe Mitchell, YourHarvardAttorney.com, signing out.